had pled guilty and that they were waiting for the result of the hearing. And depending on the, how many days she received on lockdown will determine if she's going to be able to successfully complete the program or not. And then the follow-up to that was that she was found guilty of the violation and was on lockdown until 11/20.
All right. This is all news to me because I didn't have this information yesterday. Yesterday, the information that was given to me by the probation officer is that there was some allegation of a note passing. That was the extent of it. And then that she had an overall bad attitude in the treatment program. And so she was discharged. And so was there any more than that yesterday, Mr. Watson, as we discussed this case with Ms.
That
Ramsey?
was also my understanding, as what the court just articulated as of yesterday.
Okay.
That was my understanding as well, Your Honor.
So I don't know when did you get this information? Where was that information communicated?
That was in the case notes. Those are the emails from that were put into the case notes from JTP staff.
Okay. So then there was this issue of passing a note. Ms. Spector, can you enlighten me as to this note issue?
Yeah. From my understanding, a male was sitting here, Deborah was sitting here, and he passed a note to her in the packets that were going around.
Okay. This is not something that you were there for?
No.
Okay, who was?
Our JTP counselor, Christina Triplett.
Okay, and as a result of that, what's your understanding as to what occurred after
I did
that?
see the note. What was reported to me after group was the note was passed. The counselor, Christina, asked all of the involved parties about it. They all said there was no note. And then it was reported to the officers, the correction officers, and Deborah did admit to it and handed the note to the officer, and the officer charged her with a jail rule violation of lying to staff or an officer.
And then what happened?
And then she was locked down from November 17th to November 20th.
Okay. What's the story with you?
I had no idea I was receiving anything. Again, she said
Okay, what?
the packets were passed around. I received it, held it in my hand, something fell out. I was surprised. I went, oh, grabbed it. She asked if it was a note, and I said no. Why? Fear, embarrassment, afraid to get looked at like a snitch in jail or anywhere.
What do you care about how you're looked at?
I don't.
I mean, isn't
You know.
the idea for you at this point in your life to get your act
Yes.
together and stop
Your
and
Honor,
stop putting yourself in a position where you're constantly coming in here?
Yes, that is the point.
Okay. Now, what kind of hearing was had at the jail to determine that she was going to get 3 days lockdown? Anybody know?
I don't, Your Honor. I don't know if the inspector has any more.
Okay. Does
But to add on a little bit, Your Honor, it was, she did get, once she got the 3 days, it was a 3 strikes. Your Honor.
the 3 side? I don't. My concern is that people who are in the jail treatment program are in the jail treatment program because they need the jail treatment program. Okay, they are people who have demonstrated in their very recent past, before being in the jail treatment program, they don't have the ability to operate out in society like they should be operating, lest they wouldn't be in the jail treatment program. So now what I'm told is I got COs who take people out of the jail treatment program because they decide whatever was done warrants 3 days, which automatically kicks somebody out of the jail treatment program. I didn't know that the correction officers were the ones dictating the terms of probation. So you may want to convey this back to the jail, and I'm fucking pissed, okay? I'm pissed because this ain't the first time this has happened, okay? That they're going against what I say should be done. And I'm pissed. So I still don't know the answers that I need to know, that I want to know, that I goddammit demand to know, so you can inform them of that too.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what you're going to do, what's the next step available, Mr. Watson?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that
God damn it!
upon her completion of the jail treatment program, she was supposed to move on to Lake Geauga. What was it, Oak House?
Oak House.
She was, which was supposed to start tomorrow. And Ms. Garipa told me yesterday, just informed me just now, she's still looking forward to entering Oak House. I don't know if that's an option for tomorrow or not. Your Honor, if the court does want her to go back in the jail treatment program.
Who has the slightest idea whether there's still a spot open tomorrow?
I can have Ms. Mayer from my office look into it right now and follow up with the court.
Call her right now.
That's fine, Your Honor.
And why don't you call the goddamn jail and tell them I'm fucking pissed, okay?
ORC 2925.11. And count 2 was a charge of possession of fentanyl felony of the 4th degree in violation of ORC 2925.11. Count 1, possession of cocaine does carry presumption for prison. At that time, you ordered a pre-sentence investigation and a drug and alcohol evaluation. Both have been submitted to the court for the court's review. The defendant is present today in court with counsel, Ms. Novotny. We are here for purposes of sentence.
Novotny?
Your Honor, at this time, we'd like the court to consider a prison sentence for 20 months. In regard to Mr. Pichet's future plans, why he's in prison, he does plan to engage in programming. He wants to know why he uses so much and wants to maintain sobriety after that experience. Your Honor, he is sick and tired of living the lifestyle. He wants to change that, ultimately live a life of sobriety and get the treatment he needs. With that, Your Honor, he did and was living with his girlfriend for the last 3 months. He was self-employed as a subcontractor, mostly in roofing, but he was also received a job, maintenance job, specifically at a McDonald's that he was about to start. Your Honor, we also submitted an affidavit of indigency for the court with regard to the mandatory fine in that. It was notarized and ultimately signed by Mr. Pichet regarding that he is indigent and unable to pay for the mandatory fine, and we'd like the court to consider that as well. Your Honor, we would just ask the court to adopt the recommendation of prison. Thank you.
Thank you. Want to tell me before I impose sentence?
I know I've been in front of you a couple of times, and I have obviously a substance abuse problem, and I just want to let you know that, I know you're going to ask me why it's different this time, and I just hit my rock bottom, and I've started to change, people in my life since I got this charge. I remember the last time I was in here and you asked me where I was going to be staying, and I told you with my daughter's mother, and you knew that she was a drug addict, and I still continue to go against your recommendation on not going back to that environment, and it was a mistake, and I'm just always trying to outsmart the system and try to do things my way, and I realize that that's not going to do anything positive for me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Naroto.
Judge, as was discussed in chambers, the state and defense do have a joint recommendation for prison. The state would just simply stand on that and ask the court to fashion the appropriate term.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the drug and alcohol evaluation, the previous pre-sentence reports, and some letters that were provided to me in support of Mr. Pichet. I've considered all the provisions of 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. The fact pattern here isn't surprising. It's been repeated over and over again. You were first sent to prison in Cuyahoga for a brief period of time in 12 and 13. Kimberly Jensen.
So I was talking about I'm no longer with her.
Well, you got to decide anything you don't already know. You got to decide what you're going to do. If you're going
Yes, sir.
to I go listen or you don't listen. Future is, well, all right. And it's not been overcome, so on count 1, I'm going to sentence you to a term of 24 months in prison. Count 2, 18 months. They will be concurrent to each other with credit for 55 days. I'll impose a fine of $5,000, which pursuant to your affidavit of indigency is waived. When you get out, you might be on post-release control for up to 2 years under the parole authority with conditions. If you violate, parole authority could return you to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. If that violation is a new felony, then you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for that violation, the maximum of which is the greater of 12 months or the time left under post-release control. Anything else, Ms. Naroda?
Nothing further, Judge.
Ms. Novotny?
Your Honor, he does have 55 days of credit.
I gave him
He
that.
gave me-